it was called Streamline Shake, Streamline Shake. And it was done with nothing, almost just drums. It was just me and these wonderful people with their legs crossed pounding drums. And every time I wore black stockings a lot. And every time like a runner would come, they had the stockings attached, sewn to this, like a little, kind of a strong pants. Yeah. They were kind of elasticized. They had to go back. They'd say, cut. I'd go back. The lady come with the scissors, and they'd have to cut them all off of me. Then I'd have to stand spraddle-legged like that. And when they got around here, that was scary. So, and finally, I said to Mr. Willis of Hollywood, why in the hell can't you invent something? I mean, the ballerinas don't have seams in their stockings. And he looked at me like somebody had slapped him, and he said, you know, Ann Miller, that's a great idea. And he went home, and he had his company make a pair of gunmetal color stockings with the seam attached. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it had like the little panty thing. And you know, he sold that and made a lot of money. Now, that's how dumb I am. I could have told somebody that. I could have made the money, but I know that all the men hate him, so that's the end of that.
Tonight we'll be watching Kiss Me Kate in 3D.
Oh, how wonderful.
And this is one of the very best
in
musicals.
3D.
Yes, we're watching it in 3D. We have the glasses. Everybody have their glasses? Yeah. And you do, oh, that number you do is so amazing. Too Darn Hot is just the most amazing number.
Well, I liked it too.
How was that film? Oh, and in that film, there's a song. My 10-year-old niece loves this song. She calls it the Dickie Dickie Dick number. The Tom, Dick, and Harry song.
Well, am I overdoing it?
No, we have 5 more minutes, so go ahead.
That was Tom, Dick, and Harry. And I'm going to take credit for something that I never got credit for. I was rehearsing with Tommy Rawl, who was an amazing dancer. Great ballet.
Great dancer.
Probably one of the greatest ballet dancers we've ever had. And I had that one little segment. And so we rested after rehearsing. And we went outside, and there was another empty soundstage right next to the one that George Sidney, Hermes Pan, the piano player. And I looked around, and I saw Bob Fosse working with Carol Haney. And they were doing this thing. It was some strange style, you know. And I went back over to George Sidney and Hermes, and I said, "You've got to be quiet, but you've got to come with me and watch this." And they looked at this number that they were doing, and that's how Bob Fosse got on. And he got this big thing, big break.
Choreograph and got to.
No, he was so thrilled with me. He got his contract there, and I knew he danced because I knew Bob Fosse. But I think when he died, we lost one of the great people of our era.
Well, I can't wait for us to see Kiss Me Kate. It's such a brilliant Cole Porter, fabulous.
I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, I know we will. Before we go there, before we end, Annie, we need to bring it up to date a little bit. And you were in a film that so many people saw you and then said, "That's Ann Miller." And I'm talking about Mulholland Drive, David.
Well, I didn't know David Lynch. He sent for me, and my agent went with me. I had always admired him. He did Elephant Man, and then he did Dune. It was one of the great. I'm a science fiction freak, and I have to tell you, that's the best of them all. I thought he was great. Then he did something called Blue Velvet, and then I started thinking he was weird. Other things that were kind of weird, really weird. And my agent called, and he said, "Ann, Mr. Lynch wants to see you." And he said, "I think this part might suit you." And so I did the pilot for them, and I had a pretty good sized part in that. And also in it was Lee Grant, who's such a fine actress. And there's another man, Billy Ray Cyrus. He was in the pilot and all. Well, the studio wanted only one segment, like 1 hour. He shot on his own, David Lynch, 2 hours. They got in a terrible fight, and David Lynch went back a year later and bought it back, tore it all to pieces, and made a film out of it.
Okay, let's take a look at a moment from that if we can, Annie. It's called Mulholland Drive. Ann Miller.
10 bucks says you're Betty.
Yes, I am, Mrs. Lenoir. It is Mrs. Lenoir, isn't it?
Oh, and all my living glory, baby.
Pleased to meet you.
Oh, just call me Coco. Everybody else does. Wait there and I'll go get the key.
Okay, Coco.
Wilkins! Wilkins! If that damn dog craps in the courtyard one more time, I'm just gonna bake his little butt for breakfast. You don't have any pets, do you?
Oh, no, I don't.
Well, they're allowed. I just don't like them here for obvious reasons. You know, there was a man that lived here once that had a prize-fighting kangaroo. Well, you just wouldn't believe what that kangaroo did to this courtyard. Let's go see your aunt's apartment. It's a good one.
I can hardly wait.
Tonight and say, ask her what the hell that movie was about.
Well, you know, everybody stops me on the street and asks me, and I tell you to clear it up, she was a dope addict. And when she was, as the titles, right at the beginning, were being run, it was over this, you could hear somebody snoring over somebody's body. You didn't know who it was, they were asleep. And what actually happened, during that whole thing, she was dreaming.
Right.
And then, at the end, when that young, good-looking director fell in love with this pretty girl, she sort of came too. So I wasn't a department store manager, actually a department manager. I was the mother of the young director, and she shot herself at the end because she knew that she had lost this man, you see. And I have to tell you, Naomi Watts did a fine job in that film. But people stop me and they say, what was that about? And I'm here to tell you, I didn't know for a long time. It's called Grab the Money and Run.
Is there something you'd like to say now?
Well, I want to thank the producers for doing this occasion. I hear it's for AIDS, and I'm delighted to be able to help in any way I can. I've done a couple of the big AIDS things. And let me tell you, what goes around comes around. Here I am, at my age, back in the town that gave me my break. So I love you, San Francisco.